Hello, it's Anna here and welcome to my channel Paper Craft Create. In this video I show you the process of putting together 6 cards using the uniquely creative Stamp and Colour mini kit Aussie Tradies for July 2022. I've used a one-sheet wonder designed by Cards by Kendra for the card sketches for this set of cards. I was fortunate enough to win a prize in Kendra's Card Challenge 7, in which I won the cutting template and details for this one-sheet wonder. This is limited to winners and members of Kendra's YouTube channel, so I'm unable to share this with you. However, I'll leave a link for you to check out her YouTube channel, and you may consider entering one of her challenges yourself or becoming a member to get some extra perks free when you become a member. I will also leave a link to the Uniquely Creative website so you can check out their wonderful, awesome products. The tradie theme that I've used today works well for Father's Day cards, male birthday cards, not to mention any other type of masculine cards. So as you can see, I've layered up a pattern piece for the very bottom and then put the main pattern piece for this particular card sketch on, which is that one with all the little tools on it. So this card sketch also entails a rectangle, which you can see, which I've actually embossed in a wood grain emboss, and then also any large shape of your choice, which I have used an oval. What I'm doing is I'm actually layering it up with an extra piece of cardstock just to level it out, because obviously with the embossing it does make it a little bit thicker. And of course I'm using the gorgeous stamp set, which is this Aussie Tradies one, which has the little quokkas, which is so cute. And this is my painting quokka, and he is on his ladder, and you'll see that I'll be putting in a little paint can and brush to go with that one there. This stamp set is just absolutely gorgeous, and you'll see all the other little quokka tradies as I go through the cards. The other thing that I will be using too, which you'll see in just a moment, is the sentiment. So there was also a Father's Day cut apart sentiment strips, and also just some other circles and bits and pieces. So what I've done is I've just sort of cut those up. So when you're doing a lot of colouring and stamping, it just does make it a lot easier, and you can just quickly cut these little strips up. And I've bannered the edge on that one there, and it's just come out such a treat. I really love it, and I love the colours that have also gone together with that. So moving on to card number 2, the main piece again, so same size. This time I'm just layering that up just on some dark brown cardstock, and leaving a little edge of the white card base as well. Now I've just cut that just slightly too big, so I've just cut it down just so that there's a nice even border all round. So that'll just go straight on the card front, leaving that little border. Now this one here also had a rectangle panel, however this one here will be going horizontal. What I've done with this one here, there is also a wood grain stencil that's part of this one here. So what I did is I have used Stampin' Up cardstock, and I actually, with the same colour re-inker, so crumb cake, I've actually added that into some texture paste, and I've stenciled that. So I had to let that dry before I used it, but it might not show up so well, but it actually looks really good. So it's sort of made a tone on tone, and in person, you know, adds that extra layer of texture, which I do really enjoy doing with my cards. So you'll see my little quokka here doing some work with his little wheelbarrow and spade. Once again, using one of the cut apart sentiments, I bannered one side as well and just added that to the top there. And that one there has just come out just a treat as well. So cute. So now heading on to card number 3. This one here has a few extra layers. Now I'm not sure whether this films so well or not, but that square bottom layer actually is not embossed, but it's put through with a cover plate, so it has a few dots, sort of like a circle type design, so that adds a bit of texture when you can see that in person. You might see it in the close-up at the end when it's all together. Now I've got another layered rectangle, so I've just used a bit of cardstock. What I have done though is, just to save a bit on the cardstock, I'd cut out a shape from underneath because no one will see. With this card layout, that sort of orange strip you'll see that I've cut down, that was actually meant to be a ribbon. I just felt with the masculine card I didn't really want to add a ribbon to this one here, so what I did is I just added the strip, which you'll see in a moment. I've also embossed this rectangular piece with that wood grain embossing folder, and I've sort of used a die that is cornered on two opposite corners. So that little orange piece was a ribbon with a bow, but I just sort of kept that out just to keep it a little bit masculine. And there my little quokka, who's making sure that everyone's keeping safe with his little radio and his little safety sign there, looking absolutely gorgeous. And once again also using another strip sentiment. And that one there, what I've done is at the end I've just cut it on an angle just to add a little bit of interest, and making that a nice simple card as well, but very effective. And the colours, they just look so great, with a bit of a pop of colour with the blues and the neutral tones, looking fantastic. Okay, so we must be up to card number 4. This one here has 2 panels, so it's got a very thin rectangular panel as well as a strip, I should say, and then a rectangular panel. With this one here, I've added in just a white embossed wood grain piece for a bit of texture on the bottom, and then just layering up on cardstock those 2 small pattern paper layers. So there's just the one rectangle, not rectangle, sorry, I keep calling it a rectangle, I suppose it is, but a strip, and that's getting glued down to the left hand side there, just leaving a little space on the edge, and then that one there will just go down sort of centered in that space there. There was just a nice large circle, so I actually just layered that up. I put the white scalloped circle and layered that up with a wood grain embossed panel again, so another circle on top, which I think just adds, just sort of pulls the whole card in together, and all the nice extra layers and colours. It's sort of quite white with those little sort of pops of colour, even though they're quite light and neutral, just giving it a bit of interest. So we've got our quokka with its tool belt, which is so cute, and toolbox. And then once again, I've just used another strip sentiment again and angled that end to add a little bit of interest. And yes, just popped a couple of the quokka on foam tape just to give it a little bit of dimension, and then just keeping the just keeping the toolbox just as it is there. There he is with his little spanner, making sure he looks like he's hard at work, and that is certainly a cutie. So although most of these I have put in Happy Father's Day, I mean, they would work. You could just change the sentiment and happy birthday, a thank you. Oh, that one there actually is a happy birthday. So some of them I did try to make them other than Father's Day. Now this one here is quite a cutie. So this one just has like the one sort of rectangle, which I've layered up on some coloured cardstock. There's no embossing on this one here. Just kept it nice and simple, as it's it's a bit of a busier pattern, and there's a bit happening there. So this ute is actually a full ute. However, I cut it down because it's going to be way too big for the card, so I sort of just made it fit this panel, which sort of looks quite cute. My little quokka will be standing in front. And the other thing I have used, so part of this kit you get these little chipboard die cuts, and this black sentiment is one of those. So what I've done is I've actually embossed it in a black colour first, and then a couple of layers of clear to just make it really sort of stand out and shiny. And that's just come up just beautiful. So I put that on foam just to give it a little bit of dimension, and then just add my little quokka on the front, which looks quite cute. And then I'm just going to, so I just realised that I'll need to put something in just behind the head of that quokka, just so that it, you know, if you're mailing it or anything, it doesn't sort of get squashed. It'll just keep it all level. So yeah, so I'm just working out where to place my little screwdriver, and there we go, and we're just gluing on that little chipboard piece. Not chipboard, whiteboard piece. So that's come up really good, quite striking, and you can see a little bit of shine there and gloss from the clear embossing over that black embossing powder. So lucky number 6, I think this must be my last gorgeous card, and this one here, actually I think the One Sheet Wonder accounts for this single piece to be cut twice, and so you can make 2 cards. I only made 1, but I would just make 2 of the same, or you could change it up, whatever suited your needs, but for the purpose of this video, and just to keep it that little bit shorter, I obviously just made the 1. So I just laid it up firstly on some blue cardstock, then using that neutral coloured cardstock again. That was the card sketch. So what I've done is I've now added on, I've done the same thing as I did in the previous card, where I've used that scallop circle and the wood grained embossed circle on top. Now I'm just cutting out a piece of cardboard just to make it level, because that is three levels of paper, so it would look a little flat and creased if I hadn't added something on. So I'm just putting that on first, and then I'm just adding it. Now the reason I did that was because I just wanted to make sure I had those wood grains straight, so I just in case I glue the other bit on crooked. Sometimes I find it easier just to put that extra piece on the card itself and then add my embellishment on top to make it all even. Now I've got my little quokka again, my painter quokka, who's on his ladder looking very happy and jolly. And once again I'll add just a little paint can and a little brush. And I'll also be using one of the cut apart sentiments as well. So I've just popped the little paint tin on a bit of foam, and that's just sort of given it a bit of dimension and just helps it sit and look like it's resting on top of that ladder. And I've banded both sides and then just centered the sentiment, popped it on some foam, and then centering it just below that circle. I probably could have put it just a little bit higher, but in hindsight, I think it still looks quite great, and just really beautiful striking colours all together. Thanks for watching my video. I hope to see you all again soon.